Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you guys back to marathon of Valley of Words. For the last 2 days, we have been having in Hyderabad city. The city is known for the mosaic of cultures, so it's a wonderful place to have the Hyderabad edition of Valley of Words. Now, after the lunch session, we are resuming in a minute time. We have a wonderful storyteller amongst with us, Miss Deepa Kiran. Uh, Let me introduce Ms. Deepa Kiran to the audience. Very important. So far, we have been having the authors, moderators about the books, book release, book discussions we have had. So, first storytelling, a multifaceted person. Deepa Kiran is founder, Story Arts Foundation. That is the name of the foundation. Internationally renowned storyteller, national award winning educationalist, international award winning actor, TEDx speaker and writer, a resource person with CCRT, that is Cultural Council for Cultural Relations, Ministry of Culture, Government of India, teacher training program also she is part of it. She enjoys exploring different mediums for her creative self-expression. Through storytelling, she loves connecting with children, adults. She trains teachers on story art-based learning. In her performances, training and talks, she weaves in multicultural, multilingual, musical elements to create an inviting experience, focusing on development of English language, empathy, resilience, critical thinking in multicultural, multilingual classrooms. She has reached over 75,000 educators across the world. So put your hands together for Ms. Deepa Kiran. She had a postgraduate degree in English literature from Hyderabad Central University. That's where happens to be my MA program, also political science. So hearty welcome Ms. Deepa Kiran for Valley of Words, Hyderabad edition. The floor is yours. You are now good to go.
Thank you, thank you. Come, come, listen, listen, everybody. Come, come, listen, listen, everybody. Just for you, I have a story. Come, 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 come. Come, come, listen, listen, everybody. Just for you, I have a story. Sometimes nice and sometimes scary. Sometimes nice and sometimes scary. Just for you, I have a story. Come, 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 come. Come, come, listen, listen, everybody. Just for you, I have a... Oh, so you're listening. Thank you very much. Welcome everyone to the afternoon session post-lunch on day 2 of Valley of Words. First of all, I'm delighted to be here, honored to be part of this lovely initiative. And I am Deepa Kiran. Today I'm here to share with you one of the books. Yes. So the book that we will be looking at next is The Phoenix in the Sky, Tales. Okay. Tales of Wonder and Wisdom from World Religions by Indira Ananthakrishnan, The Phoenix in the Sky. And this is the printed form of the book. What I hope to bring to you today is some of the stories. This book is a collection of many stories from religions across the world. It's a collection of many, many short stories from religions across the world. And I have chosen 2 of the stories to narrate to you as a storytelling, oral storytelling. I hope you enjoy the attempt. I enjoyed reading it and trying to conceptualize it as a performance. So, welcome to the story. Listen, listen, everybody. Just for you I have a story. सुन लो एक कहानी. इसमें राजा है न रानी. नहीं, ये सच नहीं है. इसमें एक राजा है. This is a story that takes us to a beautiful jungle. A jungle where there were birds chirping. The animals and the trees, the birds and the bees lived in harmony. But there was some sorrow too. The sorrow was in the heart of a king called Rama. Rama had reached the shore of the Indian Ocean, and there he was looking right across the ocean, sad and desolate, because his wife Sita was at the other side. However, Rama had help. Rama had with him Hanuman, who came there and said, I am there to help you. I will also bring a huge army of monkeys to help as well. Where are they going to appear from? Rama wondered. But in just a jiffy, Hanuman manifested an entire army of Vanaras just like that. All of them came tumbling in from here and there, monkeys and monkeys and monkeys and more. They came with their king, Sugriva. Soon there was a lot of help. The work started off. Does anyone know what was the work that began? Yes, beta, tell me. They started putting rocks. Yes, to construct a bridge. Yes, what's your name? Huh? Advik, very good. Okay. Thank you for that answer. Yes, let's clap for him. Super. Okay. This is about books for young adults, so it's very nice to hear a child speak. Yeah. So you are right. Yeah. That is really what they were doing. All the Vanaras, all of them were there together, putting the rocks. And where were they getting the rocks from? Did I ask what is the some mathematical formula? I just asked where did the rocks come from? Yes. From the jungle, yeah, from the jungle, from the seashore, right? The rocks were right there. They had to pick them up and go and put them in the ocean. Pick them up and go and put the ocean. Pick them up and go. Pick them up and go. And they kept doing that. All of them, one after the other. All of the monkeys, right? Tandana, tani tandana. Tandana, tani tandana. Hey, tandana, tani tandana. Yes, others can also clap. Tandana, tani tandana. And as this was going on, there was a little baby squirrel who was enjoying the whole sight. That baby was watching very eagerly, and then he went running, scurrying up the tree to his mama, and he said, Mama, Mama, all the monkeys, they're helping in building that bridge. They're all carrying rocks. I also want to be of help. And the mother, not wanting to disappoint her little squirrel baby, said, Oh, sure, my little one. You should help if you feel like. Just be careful. She didn't ask, how are you going to help? Okay. Yes, Mama, I will. And the squirrel went scurrying down and started looking for little pebbles, because that's all he could hold. One tiny little pebble. And that he carried very carefully. Tandana, tani tandana. It took him very long. Tandana, tani tandana. And the monkeys that were going by started guffawing and laughing at him. What do you think you're going to do with those pebbles, huh? Those little ones, any help, huh? Squirrel felt very bad. He went to a corner and he sat down and he thought, how can I be of help? Because he wanted to be of help. He was so impressed when he saw Lord Rama walking by there. And Lord Rama smiled at him. Now Squirrel all the more wanted to be of help, some help, whatever help. He didn't know what, he didn't know how. Soon he got an idea. You see, the monkeys were going by carrying the big rocks with their strong feet. But when he looked at their feet, the little squirrel noticed there was sand stuck on the wetness of their feet. That's when the squirrel got an idea. He rolled himself in the sand, and this little squirrel ball went all the way right over the rocks because he could go anywhere, and he dusted off the sand from his body. And that's what he did day and night. Day and night. He kept rolling in sand. The sand ball squirrel came up till the rocks and dusted off the sand right in the middle of the rocks. Again he went and back. All when the sun was up, and all the while when the moon rose as well. Finally, when the bridge was ready and Rama gathered everyone together, Rama said, "Each one of you, the smallest to the largest creatures, has contributed to make this bridge. All of the rocks, all of the stones are in place, and they are staying where they have to stay because of the sand." And that's when everybody noticed the sand and they said, "Oh, right. Oh, yeah, there is sand. That's why everything is staying the way it has to. Who brought the sand?" As people were ignorantly, carelessly looking here and there, Lord Rama turned to the little squirrel, picked up the squirrel and said, "He is who brought the sand." The squirrel was so proud and so delighted. And Lord Rama, they say, stroked his back in affection. And that is believed to be the story of how the squirrel, if you have seen, has 3 stripes on its back. So goes the story from Kamba Ramayana, a Tamil version of the Ramayana, which is one of the stories that this book offers, The Phoenix in the Sky, Tales of Wonder and Wisdom from World Religion. And so we move on to the next story, not before we hear the song of the little squirrel. Ye tirugananu dayajuchedavo inavam sotamarama Natarama bhava sagaramidanu nalinatale kshana Rama Sri Raghunandana Sitaramana Shrutajana Poshaka Rama Karunyalaya Bhaktavaradhaninu Kannadikanu Purama. And from this story, we move on to another story. I must tell you that the book has stories of various world religions, Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, Christianity, and also of Sufism. It doesn't necessarily stick to the known definitions of religion, and so I chose one of the stories from Turkey. And in Turkey, there lived a man. The thought of him brought smiles to some people and brought absolute irritation to other people. This was a man called Nasiruddin Hoxha. Yeah, we have so many reactions when we hear that name, right? Nasiruddin Hoxha was known as a crackpot. He was known as a very wise man. He was known as someone with a great sense of humor and wit. He was known as an idiot. And Nasiruddin Shah's sorry, way of partaking whatever he understood of life was through stories, which he either told or he created. So shall we travel to one such story? Yes, all right. So this is a story when Nasiruddin was invited to a very special, grand, official dinner. So he got ready. He wore his kurta and pajama. And there he reached the dinner venue. Stop, sir. You cannot enter. Why? What is the problem? Sir, look at your dress. This is an official, special, big dinner that's being hosted. How can you? What do you mean? I've worn a kurta. It's all clean, huh? My clothes. Clean and neat. What's the problem? And just then the event manager, he came there running. What's the problem? He asked the guard. And the guard said, sir. Then the event manager also had a look at, what is this, sir? How can you enter in such clothes? Atrocious, obnoxious. This is an insult to our host. Okay. Calm down. Chill. You have a problem with my dress. You want me to change? Yes, sir. We cannot allow you entry otherwise. All right. So very happily, he went right back to his house. No, he didn't stay back home. He changed. He got into the most beautiful, bejeweled sherwani that he had. He wore nice jutis with precious stones on it. He put on his best golden turban. And this time he went back. And as he went, the guard, welcome, sir. Welcome. Welcome to the gala dinner. And the event manager also escorted him right into the place where there was a huge round table laid out. All of the guests were seated. Nasiruddin also found his place and sat down. Everyone greeted each other. All of them in grand clothes. Then everybody prayed. Once the prayer was done, the food was served. And everybody began to gorge on the yummy, delicious food. The smell was wafting around of the biryani, of the other delicacies. You could smell the fresh oils and the masalas and the herbs, and everybody was gorging on the food. Everybody except our Nasiruddin. And what was he doing? He took the food and he put it in his pockets. He took some more and he put it in his pockets. And people started staring at him. He continued. The event manager came running. Sir, what are you doing? Sir, what is going on here? Why are you doing all this nonsense here? This is so disrespectful. He said. But my court was invited, right, for the dinner. So I'm telling my court, eat, my dear court, eat these savories and sweets. There are many, many treats. Trippity-teep-tate. Eat, my court, eat. So this is too much. The host was frustrated. The event manager was even more angry. There were some people who smiled and said, Nasiruddin is right, huh? And there were others who said, spoiled the whole party or the whole maza of this. Nevertheless, Nasiruddin left from there, having left a lesson behind for the people. मन लागा यार फकीरी में मन लागा यार फकीरी में जो सुख पायो नाम भजन में जो सुख पायो नाम भजन में वो सुख नाही अमीरी में, मन लागा यार फकीरी में, मन लागा यार फकीरी में। आखिर ये तन खाक मिलेगा कहाँ फिरत मगरूरी में। कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, साहिब मिले सबूरी में, साहिब मिले सबूरी में, मन लागा यार फकीरी में, मन लागा यार फकीरी में। Thank you very much. So this was an attempt to narrate some of the stories from this book, which has very many narratives. It's 2 entire pages of stories from world religions. As I mentioned, there's stories of the Prophet, of the Dalai Lama, of Lao Tzu, Swami Vivekananda, Adi Shankara, Mother Teresa. The range is beautiful and immense. I was inspired to pick up a couple of the stories and share it with you as an oral story. I might not have stuck entirely verbatim to the printed text. This is just a warning in case you're looking at the printed text, there will be a slight difference because that's what happens with oral stories. The nature of oral stories is that the teller brings in their flavor. The teller does a retelling of it in a certain sense. So I have remained authentic to the content, but perhaps the choice of words and the style of narrating might be a little different. And with due respect to the book, to printed words, I want to share a quotation about oral storytelling, which says that stories carved in stone will fade away, but stories told from one to the other live on forever. So with that, with the stories in your hearts now, I do hope it passes on to others as you share them orally, and of course, in this case, also buy the book and share the book with others. Yeah? Thank you very much.